Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the February 10th CEDC Governance and Nominating Committee meeting. We have quite an agenda today. I thought we were light and then it looked like we have some housekeeping. So up first is the consent agenda, which includes minutes from the last meeting, committee charter review, 2025 discharge duties, equal employment opportunity policy, procurement policy, property acquisition policy, property disposition, and whistleblower policy. Andy, is there anything here that we need to specifically call out, or is it just?
No, we can, if everyone's in agreement. I mean, if you wanted to pull something, you could, but if everyone's in agreement, you can just take a motion in a second to pass the.
And these are normal annual reapprovals for the purpose of satisfying the state regulatory requirements, and we've made no changes to any of the policies that it was.
Okay, no changes from the last, so
Make a motion to approve.
thank you.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, thank you, Jim. So moved. Next up is the review of board and committee attendance report. So this is
On page
26.
26,
It's on the back side.
you flip it over.
okay. Is there anything, Lisa, that we want to call out or just take a glance for everyone who?
I thought it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. We'll just take a minute.
So those are not dates, those are first number is
Yeah.
meetings attended by Zoom, second in person, and third
The total meetings held during their term, which changes depending on.
so this doesn't show lack of attendance, it shows
It
attendance.
shows.
It's showing attendance more than
Well,
lack of
attendance-
attendance.
One of those, okay.
The term that they were in, and
Right.
it varies per person.
But
Yeah.
I guess to the extent we were looking at people who did not attend,
Yes, that is definitely,
can we prepare that for the next meeting? Yeah, it does provide in the bylaws that to the extent that someone misses 3 meetings, that the chair of the governance committee and the board chair will coordinate as to how to address that with them.
yeah.
So we
I
would
think Jim and I have talked about it and we, I find that reaching out does help. And obviously us having a quorum is one of
Thank you,
the
Gary,
biggest goals.
coming
Thank
in.
you. Yeah.
So if we do look at the full board. And you look at the second number. You can see Jim has perfect attendance, Rick has missed 2. Kara is perfect attendance, Justin missed 2. Gary's perfect attendance because he started the term.
And it was different.
Derek, and Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson has been gone frequently.
Right.
on those
Yeah.
meetings, so
And
we're coming
So it really, it's Mike and Derek, obviously are ex officio members,
Well, Ryan,
have a different attendance count, but they don't count towards the quorum or they don't vote. And so, you have Ryan Skoda, Dr. Walsh, Kathy Pirro, and I guess the only other one is, Sean Sawyer is at 8 out of 12 and Brian's 9 out of 12. But I think the ones that obviously stand out are, again, Derek and Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Well, I do have a recommendation for board member, someone who Brian Mahoney is recommending. And I was hoping to have his resume and letter of interest for the meeting, but I think I'll just pass it on when I receive it. Hopefully I receive it this week. And he has a property management locally and is being recommended by Brian, so we feel really good about him. So that will be nice to, have someone on the slate for board member, and hopefully a new member can attend. And
Where does he live?
he's, forget which town, I actually don't know. Yeah, he's close.
Okay.
And I guess in conjunction with this, Madam Chair, if we looked at the Board of Trustee terms as to who's coming up for,
Yeah,
reelection, it appears that, Sean, Rachel, Rick, Brian, and Justin, and Rick has completed his second, 3-year term. Is that correct, Lisa?
Yes. He will have completed in May.
Now, we've taken the position with the chair of the board that an officer can continue to serve even if they've exceeded their 2 3-year terms. I don't know what the interpretation would be, council, with respect to the other officers, but I just raised that as Rick is what, the vice chair?
Right.
No, Rick is not an officer. He's a member of the executive committee, but not an officer.
Oh, he's the at-large. That's right. He's the
Yes.
at-large officer.
Yeah.
Tara,
so he can continue to serve.
no,
He can't.
he would go off,
If he's open to continuing, we could change the bylaws to specify that officers and at-large members of the executive committee
remain.
have the privilege of continuing beyond their 2 stints.
Because it has been a challenge, obviously.
Yeah, and he's an important, I just feel like he's an important, and we know where he stands, if he's.
I think he'd be willing
Willing
to serve.
to, yeah.
I haven't spoken to him about any extension. When he gets back from the Olympics, let's
Yeah,
corner him at the next opportunity.
let's text him right now.
We'll add that to the list of potential amendments to the bylaws.
Yes.
And then obviously the vacancies are in the 2027 class and the 2028 class. And I guess the question would be approaching Sean, Rachel, Brian, and Justin with respect to their interest in standing for reelection.
All right, so Jim, maybe you and I can coordinate on that.
Let's do that.
And Lisa did include also the profile based on affiliation and the towns that are represented. And I do think perhaps we can present that at the board meeting backwards, what towns we have no one in, instead of what
Yeah.
towns we have someone in. And that might,
Michael Johnson's still not in.
that might enable some of our board members to identify people that we haven't identified before.
Lisa, I think Tara's saying Michael Johnson.
Still not, right?
That's the town of Glasgow.
But that's a.
Okay, and I'm in
It's
Fallbrook, but is it because my business is Hudson?
Temperatures, Hudson.
Yeah. doesn't matter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Only because I put business.
As
His
business.
business is in Belmont.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as business.
Yeah, because I don't always have home addresses, so I don't know where the
Yeah.
business is.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, because Rachel is actually Greenfield, right?
She lives in, you know, and then she's actually tax bill with you,
Yeah.
where her
Yeah.
company is, yeah. But that's not a preclusion
Oh,
from
and
serving on the
Vernon
board.
too, okay, yeah. Cause it's if you work.
Yeah.
Okay. It is really hard to get those members from, you know,
The hinterlands.
Yeah, but
it's such a
Yeah.
commitment to come all the
Yeah.
way.
I often ask the members of the Board of Supervisors who live in very small towns that are 45 minutes away, why do you come to the meetings? And they said because we're counted as a no vote if we don't show up, and their caucus doesn't want
Yeah.
them to miss, but you know, it is a,
It's a real challenge, so
you know.
it's a commitment. Okay.
Ideally, I would think someone like Sean Sawyer, because he's all the way in Kinderhook, but he's traveling this direction for work, finding someone that, you know, that makes it a touch easier in your work day.
Yeah. We had some more nonprofit kind of leaders
Right,
who have
evolved
rotated
off,
off, yeah.
Hard on my.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was thinking. I mean, it is a good
well, why don't I,
category.
why don't I circulate to the committee before the board meeting, the current list of not-for-profit executives in the top 10 or 15 organizations?
And then maybe the membership list also with it, just to remind
Yeah.
everyone who's already involved.
I mean, there's new leadership that's involved. There are some changeovers of leadership in different
Yeah.
organizations
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
And I think we're also, and again, very difficult because of the nature of their work, someone in the agribusiness. Like, you know, 8:30 in the morning is high noon
Yeah.
for a farmer
Totally.
or a. Did you?
Yeah.
Rachel,
That
Mike,
kind of concludes the item number 2, Madam Chair, unless there are some other related topics to board and committee attendance and board openings.
No, and I guess we need to vote on this to present it to the board, so I just need a motion.
The Jim has a
so
comment.
moved.
Jim, I don't know that, Jim, you can vote, being remote under the.
right,
I can
current law.
vote. If you've got a quorum there, I can vote.
Okay, everyone in favor?
I think the rule,
Sorry.
and
yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
for an emergency.
you can't do remote, have remote attendance, but not remote participation unless you have a medical emergency.
Which I have.
That you had.
Contagious.
Medical
Since
emergency.
they hours going through minutes of meetings to see if people went into remote session or executive sessions appropriately, we just.
Just to be safe.
Thank you, ABO.
Yes.
Okay, so you have Tara and Gary seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, moving down the list on the agenda, next up is the committee appointments. We have,
The current list here.
No, we use the list that's the attendance.
Oh,
That's
okay.
current.
So,
I feel like we've talked about this recently in the last year, and, you know, because Gary's here, that was the outcome of our discussion, that we were having difficulty with the quorum. And, you know, like,
I think we've gotten down to on the committee level where 3 is a quorum,
yeah.
3 out of 5.
Mhm.
I think based on our past experience, I don't recommend that we have less than, if you had a quorum of 3 and, or you had a committee of 3 instead of 5,
Yeah,
then, you know, 2 people.
the number's too long.
It gets,
Yeah.
the transparency that we were trying to reestablish. You know, certainly, perhaps at the committee level that works, but I wouldn't want to dilute the board. We were at a point where 3 people on the board could have made, when we changed the bylaws, when I
Yeah.
came. You know, we could have a board meeting of 17 people and 3 could decide what happens.
So right now, we feel comfortable, I guess, comparing it to the term and people either rotating off, or if there's not an interest in continuing, then we would have an issue with committees.
Right.
Right? So,
Right, I rotate off.
so I would say, Jim, you and I need to reach out to people and understand
Mhm.
if that group one that's expiring, because there's a lot of committee members in there.
Right.
You know, the audit committee, and the executive committee could serve as members of the audit committee. And it only meets twice a year, once to engage the auditors and once to approve the audit. The only thing, it can't be a mirror image of the finance committee.
Right,
I mean, you've had
I
good
thought finance
attendance,
could have.
you've had good attendance at the committee level. So,
Yeah.
doesn't look to be a problem.
Yeah. The question is, does anyone want to go to a different committee? And perhaps we could ask that at the, we'd have a chart that shows people where they are and where there might be an opening, and if somebody
Yeah.
wanted to experience the, you know, a different committee, perhaps there could be some changes there. So why don't we put together a list of the current committee assignments for the board meeting?
Okay.
Show where they're, you know, if we don't have 5 on the committee from our own count, we can leave a blank so that people know that there's an opening there. And then circulate it in the packet and discuss it with the full board at the
Yeah.
meeting at the end of the month.
Then I think ideally also any new board members, we would be asking if they're willing to, as you are willing to serve on a committee, because I think that's important too, just kind of looking ahead. If you look at the attendance record, the people in most attendance are also the committee members. Okay, so we'll have that for the next board
Right.
meeting. Okay, so moving along,
Chris, I think you're going wrong, she's only on one committee.
yeah. Maybe it's a bunch too.
Yeah.
Okay, annual meeting planning, this is the time of the year that we start.
Right.
Talking about it, should we talk about it earlier than February?
No, I think,
Fine,
well,
we're
yeah, I
okay.
think that, we have the college reserved. Riley, and I have had some preliminary, discussions. We're getting the sponsorship forms, ready as we, continue to wrap up the membership drive. Jim and I had, had a brief discussion as to whether it makes sense to have a speaker where the intent was to recognize me and introduce formally to the community the successor. And, you know, would those items take up sufficient time to you know, not have a 15 or 20-minute guest speaker? Maybe highlight the event, you know, as the introduction of the new CEO. Give them a chance to introduce themselves and you know,
Yeah.
lay out some direction as to how they want to lead the organization. So,
Sounds good.
you know, the difficulty is, if you had some other speaker, you'd be in a situation where you might, in a 1 hour, well, we tried to start at 7:30 and be out by 9:15, and we've seen, you know, some of our speakers take more than the allotted 17 minutes. So I think, is that consistent, Jim, with our earlier conversations?
That's right. Yeah, I think there'll be enough substance on the agenda without a guest speaker.
So we wanted to bring that to the committee because otherwise this is the time that you'd have to lock someone in.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I think it would be too much without additional space.
Yeah.
And the spotlight should be on the there
Yeah,
and come in.
I think the spotlight should be on the,
On that.
Well, you
the
know,
remembrance, the reflection.
You can take 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that.
No one's gonna take it
I'll,
away.
I'll hand out a list of accomplishments.
I do think it is a good idea to show the audience, when you are reflecting back, it does show.
Where you-
what
where
we-
we-
What
yeah.
we've done, and yeah,
And, you know, but obviously the focus is on the introduction of the new person and giving him or her the opportunity to, you know, lay out 5 or 6 ideas as to how they want to take the organization. Because by then, presumably, depending on when we get white smoke, the person will have had some overlap with me and be ready to take the lead.
Is
I-
that the press announcement?
No, the press announcement, I think, would be immediate once you make the announcement, and the word, because otherwise the word will be out, right? The person's
Right.
gonna say, I got hired.
yeah.
So I think the press release comes immediately, identifying that they'll be starting on a certain date and taking
Starting.
There'll be a brief
Office and
overlap.
starting date,
Yeah.
The one thing I've always thought we could do better at is to highlight, you know, especially Martha, the people who have been success
Get
stories,
the achievements.
the achievements in that way, so maybe.
That could be a way of
Yeah.
having a little bit of, 5 to 7 minute segment, highlighting a few of the clients.
Success case story.
One could even just be a little tiny booklet with just a couple of nice photos of, you know, this business and their little, I mean, I've been to meetings where it shows the accomplishments, a picture of their store, their staff or something.
We have been talking about doing that in each of the newsletters. It's a little, some people are shy once, I mean,
Some people would be, and other people might look at it as opportunity to
Yeah.
advertise their business.
yeah, that's what, so I think we need to
Find those people.
find those people.
Maybe in the press release, you wanna, let folks know he'll be the guest speaker at the annual meeting. And that might entice some people.
Well, I think we would,
Yeah.
and then I think
So
we would,
meet the new.
we would put their photo in the marketing for the annual meeting. And
One shot.
yeah, so I think I'm hoping that it will enhance the crowd. I mean, we had good attendance at annual meetings over time, but it's a new injection of energy that I hope will enhance sponsorships and also attendance.
On the agenda under annual meeting planning, you have board opening bylaw review. Is that
That's-
there? Because we talked about, is that there
Well,
to?
because that's part of
I
the
like that,
agenda
that's
of
part
the
of
annual
it,
meeting
yeah.
is to elect people.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. And then we begin this time of year to review the bylaws so that at the March meeting, we would approve any bylaw changes
Subject to.
by the board so that they can be, and then any
That would be announced at
that
the,
could be
part of the
ratified.
meeting, part of the right,
They could be ratified
at the annual
by the membership.
meeting, yeah.
And so Andy and I will look at that in between now and the February board meeting so that we can, if we do have recommended items, it's not the first time the board is hearing about it when we're trying to do it in March. At the college, the good part is that they have co-arc there, so they can do the catering. It's much more reasonable than bringing in a caterer. At the same time, you're supporting a valuable not-for-profit in the community. And I think depending on how it evolves one of the biggest expenses that we have had is bringing in, the audiovisual PowerPoint screen, but I don't know, maybe that's not necessary if we're not having a guest speaker that, requires that. And we'll see what the college may have otherwise, in that regard, because that's almost $1,500 to $1,800. Bring in one of those draped displays. And we had one speaker a couple of years ago who, we did it and he came and he said, oh, I didn't get time to put the slides together. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We could remove that line item.
You know, and it's also much more cost effective to do it at the college, as they don't charge us, or haven't in the past charged us a event space fee. And you know, we basically dropped the cost back to, about $7,000 from $12,000 when we had it at the Falls.
Great.
Yeah, and
It was
I think-
it was a good space, like it's a good community.
And I think it's important for other people to see that, remind them that there's a college and how important it is to the, economic vitality of the county. And when the chancellor was here, for his annual tour of Columbia Green, Dr. Walsh invited me and James Hanish, my counterpart in Greene County, and, mentioned, at the forum that, to me, the college is Switzerland, because we can meet there with people from Greene County and not feel that, we're, bringing them over the bridge, to the other side of the bridge. So you got a kick out of that. But, anything that, you have observed, certainly Tara's comment about highlighting loan clients, and not only at the annual meeting, but more frequently. We can certainly, add anything else from your recollection of annual meetings that we, might do. You know, I do think it's important to do some type of a printed handout. And, you know, we've got that down to where we're using the template that we used 10 years ago and nobody really notices. We change up the photographs and write the, material. So we talked about, parking, we have catering, we have, marketing, anything that we can think of that, you would add or subtract or modify it from your past recollections. Probably should have done this the day after the last meeting.
I'm just thinking about not just that highlighting the good works. It's also an element, I know in the firehouse we say, like, not where do your membership dollars go, but where do your, donations go?
Mhm.
And it will show, we bought new masks, we bought, you know what I mean? We help the community in this way. So it's almost like a goodwill towards, oh, our work, all of this is going, look at these great businesses with, do some little sad stuff.
Yeah, and I was thinking,
People.
having one of the members, I mean, we usually, it's been the person from the creamery, but, having someone else,
Yeah.
I mean, having that business kind of shine a spotlight on one person, if we have a compelling story that they could talk about in
Yeah,
5 minutes.
Yeah, it helps them promote their business and also reminds everyone what we're doing
Like
and how we're connected to
The woman who runs the ice cream shop on Warren Street, it's like a single mom, could be a nice little.
Yeah.
Right, it could be a bigger business, it could be a smaller
Smaller
business,
business.
either one, it could be 2 if they were short, if
Yeah.
they talked for
And our-
2 minutes, it could be,
And our, repetitive use of the creamery was because they pay the $2,500 to
Right, no, I know.
get steak.
I know.
But I think we could, I remember the year before I came, I always attended these breakfasts, and they actually had, 3 of the businesses speak.
That's what, I thought that would be
Yeah.
great. Most people don't wanna talk for that long.
But your point is, that's good advertising for
Yeah.
somebody that understands marketing. So, all right, well, we'll continue to put this together and Jim and I will get back to you as we,
Martha, you probably know of some people who, because there are certain people who love to be on social media and promote
It's a
themselves.
little tricky. In fact, the last client that we highlighted for the newsletter, she said she was
very happy to do a testimonial and then never
Never
approve.
followed through.
We wrote it, you know,
Mm.
so you never know.
Yeah, right.
Well, now that we have how many? Loan clients do we have in the alumni group? We have 200 and some current, and we must have 200 in the alumni group.
Someone's gotta be.
Yeah.
Or even if there was someone that was dynamic that took the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause that'd be a different voice, like.
That's what I was thinking too, because then that gives us the opportunity to tell people about.
And someone who, you know, maybe really made the leap, not just incrementally,
Right.
went up the ladder. With the firehouses.
Yeah.
Go up the ladder.
I just had one quick thought on the bylaws, because we have everyone here. Having, you know, because I've looked at this before, right? The whole issue of term limits.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think, you know, the state of the art is, you know, best practice is what you're weighing having turnover to promote, you know, new ideas on the board.
Yeah.
Juxtaposed against the need for continuity.
Right.
Right? And if we think back over the last 8 years, I mean, people that aren't committed end up leaving anyway. So, I mean, you have 3 vacancies now, so it's not like you have an entrenched board.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it may be, just putting it out there, would it make more sense to modify the term limit to 9 years?
I think it makes sense, and that's what it's looking like right now. In fact, I want it to be, I would want it to be 9.
If you're an officer,
For the
you know what I mean? Like, you can still keep that, but I'm just saying, instead of trying to create. I don't know what the downside is, because right now you have 3 vacancies.
Yeah.
And you have other people that step off.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, the reason we don't,
Downside be you really wanna get rid of this.
but usually those people leave
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of someone who's been counting the days till they leave.
Well,
Maybe you can.
I am.
That could be the only drawback I would say.
Yeah.
Guys, another,
I think it would be helpful right now.
Mhm.
When you
another
look at-
possibility would be to revise the bylaws to say that members of the executive committee are exempt from the limited, the term limits. That would only, address one person right now, in terms of changes, but it would accomplish it. Again, we don't know if that individual is interested in staying beyond the 6 years. We'll have to speak with him.
So maybe we'll see with our outreach where it stands, and then
Yeah.
we know that that's an option.
And
Okay.
I think, two at-large members to the executive committee, and then have a seat for the person that you don't want to leave. Good.
Thank you, Andy.
I think we always have a staffing update. I mean, I think, the staff is, as evidenced by our year-end, results, has done a phenomenal job, again. Certainly, the work that, Lisa does to keep the ship running and, reporting to the ABO and, ensuring that the minutes and the meeting schedules are, and also dealing with, a lot of the requirements that go with our work on grants and the ABO and IDAs. And the work that Kat does on the books and records and audits, and also supporting the reporting to the ABO. And Riley has been getting the newsletter out, working on the membership. She and I have been working on our website. ABO did put out a new guidance on websites. Either we didn't get reviewed, or they didn't find anything that they needed to point out to us, if we were not listed in that audit either. But I think some of the functionality of the website we've been looking at. And we also have been working to be sure that we have things posted, and that the navigation is a little easier. Right now, we have a page for public documents where when you go there, there's just so much on that page. So we're going to reduce the information so that you click on a button that takes you to the page that you're really looking for. Because I do think the transparency issue is, if I'm a citizen, can I find it?
Yeah.
And, you know, so we are, working on that. I'm also working, with, Kat and, our auditors and our, consultant on, because the auditors can't give us independent advice on operating the books and records. I want to be sure that, you know, all of these things are in good shape for the next, executive. And, you know, we've reviewed all of the interest on bank accounts, we've reviewed bank fees, you know, the things that we do on occasion, but, should be done more on a, more annual basis, and then creating a log of those things to do in the future. And I didn't mention, obviously, Martha and Steve, their work and the work that Chris has been doing, with our housing effort. You know, as you know, the Board of Supervisors asked us to undertake that. The creation of the land bank has allowed us, to continue that work, because the state provides, administrative funding. And the Board of Supervisors did give us an extra $36,000 this year, towards, our efforts there. And, you know, Chris gets great feedback, from the Board of Supervisors and also the task force members, and does a terrific job. We have, what, 8 or 10 development projects that, 12 that we're looking at. Obviously, you need 10 to get 2, but, and again, I think one of the big issues is water, sewer, gas, electric, and broadband at the same location. You may have seen the article in the paper last week about the Greenport sewer plant, where everyone thought that's the place to go build, and then, find out that they've been more than 5 years under a consent order for overflow issues. So we've got to get that resolved, and with that comes the need for, state and federal funding to pay for these things. So Chris has been working on that, and, again, I think, you know, we're looking at, when I came, we had about an $800,000 budget, and 460 of it came from the Board of Supervisors. And, you know, now we're at $1,250,000, and 490 comes from the Board of Supervisors. So, you know, our goal was to, reduce the amount of reliance on the supervisors. But when you look at the $290,000 and the $150,000 of, that comes from the SBA micro and county microloan program, you know, that's where the growth occurred that allowed us to reduce our dependence on the Board of Supervisors. So, you know, the work that Martha and Steve and supported by Lisa and Kat and the rest of us, you know, is really critical. And we did get good news. The SBA told us they couldn't pay us for our September quarter because they set up a new financial reporting system, and they have to test it out. We got an email yesterday indicating that in 2 to 3 weeks, we should be getting those funds. And so, you know, I don't know if hopefully the new system going forward will pay people on time, but so I think from the staffing, we're in good shape. Other business, I'm not aware of any other business to bring before you today. And I'll complete my report and turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Jim, do you have anything more to add?
No,
On the other? No.
no,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. And then I don't know if anyone's online, but of course, we're open to public comment if there is someone. And if not, and no one has anything else to add or question, I will ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make that motion.
Second?
All those in favor? Anyone opposed? So carried. Thank you very much.
I'm headed to the New York State Economic